I don't know. Do you hear the echo?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Is it over there? Just over there?
It seems like it might be coming from you.
Shit. How about
I
now?
think we're going to be okay, though. Look how handsome you are.
Dude, I'm wearing, you don't even, look, this is the worst outfit. I'm wearing like,
Dude.
I'm like,
Wait, hold on, bro. Look at this.
yeah, it's like the most fucking Hunter S. Thompson vibes
Dude.
that I could fucking.
You look like
bust
Father
in.
John Wisty.
Holy shit, this is great. Well, fuck. That's the best way to start this shit ever.
I agree. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, I was hoping I wasn't going to like Carl Lentz. You know,
There's not enough leather involved. There's
I have so much leather. I have so many leather jackets. Actually, did you watch that documentary about that guy?
Oh, yeah. Wait, yeah, you know, it was funny because at first I thought he was like misunderstood. Not misunderstood. That sounds terrible because he did some shitty things.
Yeah,
But
sure.
but like I was like, oh, maybe he's a changed man because he like kind of came on at first like really humble, you know?
Yeah.
But then
What,
like,
did something happen?
about like 5 minutes into his interview, you start going, oh, it's the same fucking guy. Like there's like for a second, I was taking the bait. I was like, okay, maybe he had this like authentic, powerful change in his life, but
It's crazy how big that shit got too. You know?
yeah, people love to hate Hillsong. I love to hate Hillsong.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of get it though. Yeah, I mean, it's like,
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like, I went back like a year ago and watched a bunch of Hillsong videos, like live worship videos, just to see what it would do to me. And I was moved. Like, I had this like revelation of like, they are the best at what they do. Like their drops, like the chords they use, like
yeah,
they're powerful.
they were the first to rip off the edge fully, right? Where like you have to have like 3 delay pedals to be in the worship band.
Yes, I wouldn't say the first. I think like looking back, do you remember that band Delirious?
Oh God, yeah.
I felt like they were just so horny for U2. Like Delirious was the Christian U2. And I couldn't understand why everybody loved Delirious so much, especially when they had U2. You know, like U2 was like Team Christian. They sold U2 in the Bible bookstore. They wouldn't
Forgot
sell
about that.
XPX, but they would sell.
Yeah, right, for real. By the way, Tom Wilanowski from MXPX was the first person to get me to drink.
No way.
Yeah, on tour. Because I was like super Christian.
I just saw him on a TikTok playing guitar with No Effects on their No Effects' last little shindig. This is their last tour, apparently.
He's legitimately the coolest, nicest person. Yeah, they all are. They're great.
Yeah, Mike Carrera, I met him a few times. He's a really good dude.
Yeah. He's like crazy. They're super sweet guys. And they like, I never understood how like Blink 182 like took off that to the stratospheres, to the fucking space, if you will.
I never understood it either.
Yeah, and MXPX. I mean, they got that Pepsi commercial.
That's true. And MXPX, like, dude, have you seen these videos of Blink 182 like playing live?
No.
They're awful. Like the band, the like they're good with the band because you know Travis is like holding it down. He's incredible, you know. And then Mark, the bass player, right? Like he can pretty much sing. He's a good singer, right? But Tom, the alien dude, that guy cannot sing to save his life. It is awful.
It never has been able to. That's kind of a shtick, though. But dude, it sucks that he was right about aliens.
I believed him the whole time. I've believed this alien stuff. So when I was a kid, My mom and dad told, and this is like one of the only things I remember about my biological dad,
Damn, dude.
was that they saw a UFO, and they were like, we saw it. It was like right in front of us, like, and they claimed to see a UFO. And so I've always believed, even though like 90% of the shit I think my parents told me probably isn't true. I believe that though.
Man, I was so like honor thy father and mother. I believe.
Were you?
It was like, yeah, it's weird to speak to Christians because of this thing and realize even more how strange my upbringing with it was. But yeah, I was so into honor thy father and mother. But years and years ago, strangely, with Redding, who's missing in action in Rome, we've lost Jeff Redding. Reverend Redding is gone. We don't know where he is.
I'm the second choice. Wait, what was I the second choice?
No, you should just come on and be on forever. In fact, what I'll do is you guys can talk and I'll just answer Bible stuff. So I'll stop talking as much. But we were riding in a car and we were talking about alien shit because the first like hearings before the pandemic were starting to come out.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, if Tom DeLonge is right, I don't know what I'm going to do with myself. Like, I spent so much time just being like, dude, he lost it. I spent so much time, not believing.
Tom DeLonge denier.
I hate her.
Tom DeLonge denier. TDD.
I should have known I was wrong back then too. So I'll admit fault right now, 100%.
That's big of you, dude.
Yeah, of course. Like the guy from Blink-182 is getting pulled into fucking side rooms at the Pentagon. Like, shut the fuck up,
right?
You know.
Yeah,
yeah.
I had a different approach. I was always kind of proud of him. I was like, "Good job, man!" Like,
he also ripped off that YouTube pedal for that Angels and Airwaves album right then.
Oh, dude, Angels and Airwaves is garbage. It's
they're a great band though. The songs maybe not so much. Great players. Yeah,
it's like almost there.
How badass is it though that he did that? He's like, I don't have to sing on key every night. Who gives a shit?
Totally.
He could skateboard. He could run around. He could scream at kids all night. If he could do anything he wants before the gig.
Yeah. Here's the thing though. He had like with Angels and Airwaves, they had like a lot of thicker guitars and like strings and pads behind them, which cover up a multitude of sins for singers. No wonder he jumped ship and went there.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. And he's getting all his friends paid.
Yeah. No, honestly, like he seems like a rat. I'm into the dude.
Yeah,
Smash.
What this is Smash. So I get derailed so easy. It's a problem. It's a real problem.
We're gonna have that problem for the next few hours.
2 hours. Yeah, fucking Jesus Christ. Because when you grow up alone in the woods, everything's exciting. So when you transfer that to the 40-year-old body, it can be a bit much. But this fucking alien shit is like, it's been fucking my brain over. I don't even know what to.
I want to know what you think about. Like, what do you think the Christian response to this is going to be?
I guess I was priming myself because Redding gets so bored with that. But this is all I can think about is like how much of Joel Osteen's congregation is going to show up Sunday.
Yeah.
After like Zorb goes on like, like CNN, like some guy from a different galaxy is giving a press conference. Like,
well, I have a theory of what's going to happen. And I made a TikTok about this very thing, which is I think that the fundies they're going straight to these are demons. And this is like demons from outer space. Like Satan is sending these demons himself, like almost like Lord of the Rings. They've been like working underground and
the seals
for this, right?
Yeah.
Orcs, they're coming, but a different kind of orc, a sky orc.
Well, they have that in Revelation, right? They have like a tail of a scorpion.
All sorts of weird.
Yeah.
So the fundies are going to think this is the devil.
Double down.
Then you're going to have like the progressive, like God loves everyone, like we're cool with gay people, like that. that brand of Christian is going to be like, they are made in God's image too. And
Sorb should be a deacon.
totally. And suddenly there's going to be a fucking YWAM base on Mars. Like, people are going to be sending out support letters.
They're going to be doing car washes and bake sales. I got to get to Centuria 6 to reach the fucking... How weird. How sad. I think you could be really right, though.
Did you imagine World Vision?
We're going to see it.
Like, all of a sudden, we're now sponsoring like the alien children who are malnourished for 10 space bucks a month. You too.
There's like an intergalactic version of Sarah McLachlan played.
It's
kind of like
mashup.
Fifth Element thing going on. She's all blue. Yeah.
It's made history because it's the first like alien and human mashup of music. It's a big deal. This whole thing.
It is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It's kind of biblical too, if you think about it. I mean,
tell me, where are you going with this?
well, like in Genesis 6, there's this thing where like God's we don't know if there's friends, but like divine beings
Yeah.
that like to have sex with women, and they create these like giant children called the Nephilim, and that's in Genesis 6. And then there's this book that's not canonized called the Book of Enoch, and it goes in depth on this. Like, excuse me.
Yeah, you just read this, right?
Yeah, it was too much.
I want to hear. Tell me more about these aliens banging humans.
Yeah, dude, because they like. So I think one of them is the head one is like Ariel. I just saw The Little Mermaid a little bit ago, so maybe
You might be mixing that up.
yeah, right. But like, and these like angels, these demons come here and start fucking women.
Whoa.
And like teaching them how to be hot and teaching them sorcery. Yeah, seriously, like teach them how to make bracelets and make themselves look good and shit. And then in one of them, they fuck cattle.
Okay.
And they like, there's like all this weird imagery that's like something to the effect of they gave like sorcery and knowledge to men, to women. Wow. And so like for this, they get punished, and it gets nuts. It's essentially the flood, right?
So
the flood happens right after.
Do they get punished because they gave wisdom to women, or do they get punished because they were banging women?
I think it's the banging angle is what gets mentioned. But see, this is the first time I ever read the book. God, this weed, sorry. It's the first time I ever read the book. So like I tried this thing where I didn't study it, because normally I get like ADHD pitbull on this shit where I like OCD out on whatever passage or book of the Bible we're reading. I read it so much that I'm annoying to everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So I like step back, but I need to get like a scholar, like someone who speaks the...
Dan.
Yeah, Dan McClellan.
You got to hit up Dan.
Dude, I don't know if the weed angle in his Mormonism, but I hope someday. But I attend all of his classes. I take notes and shit.
Have you talked to him? Like,
just over email, over little stuff, but like not like I haven't.
But you emailed
like,
Dan McClellan?
Just because I'm like, hey, is there a bibliography for the class from last week on the canonization? You know, just like a professor.
Fucking nerd.
Yeah, I wanted to read his books. Like, he's so smart.
Was there any part of you that's like, maybe if I word this in an interesting way, he'll want to be my friend?
Well, I mean, I just want him to come on the podcast. I don't even know if he would ever.
Yeah.
I could understand he seems to be so measured, intelligent, and I mean, like, you know, I get that marijuana doesn't fit into everyone's beliefs,
Right?
You know,
yeah.
And I don't want to offend anyone that's like. I used to not do shit either. I used to never smoke. I used to never drink, and like,
right?
Yeah, it was boring.
I wonder what Dan McClellan smelled like. You ever think about that?
I'm going to say sandalwood.
Yeah. He seems like a sandalwood guy.
Yeah.
He uses the Neutrogena rain bath that's like in all the hotels.
Yeah. For some reason, like he leaves like an afterglow of tea tree oil.
Yeah.
You know, it just sounds like someone who's read a lot of books. I mean, smells like someone who's read just tons of books. Right?
Hey, real quick, speaking of books, this is my brain.
Okay.
Did you know that apparently bookstores make you have to go poop?
What? No? What?
Yeah, it's a thing. Look it up on the internet, dude. Like, I'm telling you that there is like studies and they don't know why. They think it could be something in the ink or something, but apparently bookstores make you have to poop.
Man, can you imagine so eating a bran muffin and then having a large coffee, going to Barnes and Nobles?
Oh yeah, dude. And it's true. Every time I go into Barnes and Nobles, I have to take a shit. I don't know what it is. And now I know. Like when I saw that, I was like, "Oh my god, that makes sense."
You're like, I have this.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be like a class action suit in a while that you could like get it on. They're like, have you suffered from pooptitis read functions? Yeah, see, I don't know if this is the kind of shit Dan McClellan would be into. You see what I'm saying? And I don't want to change, you know what I'm saying? This is when you get used to green room talk, you know.
For those of you who have no idea what is happening here, Leif and I met on the internet. So speaking, like he sends Dan McClellan probably a nicely worded, very thought out email. I think Leif and I met over a comment going like, "Are you my fucking brother?"
Yeah.
And we were like, "Let's FaceTime."
It was 5 minutes later. It's funny though, because I just gave up right then. I stopped using TikTok right at that moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I need to hop back on.
The Lord led you to me, and then you had no use for it.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good now. I just put on a purity ream that has a J on it, and here we are.
Dude, I had a purity ring.
Me too, brother. Me too.
I'm pretty sure I touched a few boobs with that purity ring.
Oh my God, that's rad. Boob touching purity ring? That's a dude. That blows my mind too, because I just was always like, I just thought God would like strike you with lightning.
Yeah,
like if like any of that, like even thinking that way when I was younger was just like I would like have to stop, go pray.
Yeah. I don't know. I smooched a lot of the girls in my youth group.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Like I never closed the deal. Not even close that once.
Oh man.
Yeah. Even at camp, I went to a bunch of Christian camps.
That's where it happens.
Yeah, not for me. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah. Do you
when
remember
when did you have your first kiss?
My first kiss, it's really weird. It was on that Mexico mission trip.
Nice.
Yeah. But it was like, it was a strange situation because they have like you all sleep in this rock quarry, and so like there's like 500 different kids from all over the West Coast, and they're all down there, and so there's different groups from different states and different camps, and I had made friends with this group of, I don't even remember where they're from, but it was like 12 people from a youth group or something like this.
Yeah.
But this one was always kicking it. She was always hanging out, and one day we were all walking. Dude, one second, I got a burp. That wasn't even that cool.
That was the weakest burp. Come on,
in there, dude.
You better do better than that.
No, that's so tiny. God,
you're gonna want to.
Now I can't edit this out. See, I normally would edit that out, but now it just shows how cool you are. So now I gotta keep it in. Damn it! Fuck. Okay. Yeah. So we're walking.
It's okay, bud. It'll happen.
Okay. Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, so we're all walking this big group, and then like all of a sudden it's just me and this girl, and then she like shoves me against a van and like stuck her tongue down my throat. I didn't even and I at the time I remember being lifted off the ground by her.
Yeah.
So, and she did look like a Nordic, like Helga of the North, like blonde braids and like,
This is incredible.
strong stance.
You could write some fanfic, bud.
Yeah, it seemed a lot more abusive in the moment, but maybe looking back, it was kind of cool. Thank you, Henry. Like, I definitely took a shower, you know.
Now, were you into it at all? Like, were you like, did it turn you on in that moment, or were you
I
just?
think so, because it was
freaked
like
out?
someone's kissing me, right? And in my family, you're not allowed to kiss till the altar.
Wow.
So you're supposed to save your first kiss for your wedding day, and like, you know, it wasn't like a nefarious plan of mine. Like, we're gonna go walking, and then like, I'll get her alone. You know, we were like, I was hanging out with the group that I normally hang out with, and it was obviously like she had planned this. You know.
Yeah, this was
she was
thought out.
like,
This was a calculated strike, my dude.
Yeah, so it was like, I don't know, maybe I like saw the opportunity, but it was cool. I will say that.
How long
after a
did it
while.
last? I have so many questions about this.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, it didn't last very long, but I do remember the last day of camp that I went to go give her my address so we could be pen pals.
Did you ever write a letter?
No, I was so scared. Sin, brother. Sin. I don't want to sin. I don't. She's a conduit for lust.
Wow.
How could I? Yeah. So
You
dumb.
are a fortress.
I was more just like, I don't know. Indoctrination's interesting, right?
Yeah.
And I guess this is cool because who else can kind of get into these topics like this?
Yeah, totally.
So, I mean, even if no one else is following us, I'm having the best time.
I'm having a great time too.
Right?
I
There we
don't know
go.
what we're going to tell people this podcast is about, but
So, yeah, because like I go back and forth on whether or not Christianity is a good thing, even at all. And it's weird. Yeah, man. And like, I'm only admitting it because I feel kind of sheepish and foolish about it. I mean, you should have a fucking opinion, right? And like,
yeah, totally.
I should be able to stand on one. And why do I keep being wishy-washy? But I'm arguing with Redding, and I'm like, what? Some of the shit he says is just too far for me, I think, in my opinion. Like, if someone wants to believe in Jesus, that's totally fine. There's tons of fucking evidence. There's shitloads of evidence that there's this Jesus guy. But I have too many personal experiences with like close friends and family members and people that I grew up with that like either get taken advantage of a church or fall into this like dogmatic bullshit thinking that actually is bigoted, that actually is racist, that actually is evil.
Yeah.
And it's strange to me. So it's like, you know, if anyone says the Bible is inerrant, the inspired word of God and inerrant, I usually know that they are probably going to fall into that game.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I struggle with that too, because I think we talked about this before. Like, I still know really good people, supposedly, within the church. You know what I mean? Like, from my perspective, they're good people. They believe, they smoke what they're selling, essentially. But man, there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they're talking about, who believes that the Bible is perfect, but they probably also believe that the Bible was written in English. So there's just so much ignorance surrounding it, and the church doesn't do much to help it because the church has its own agenda,
which is weird because it's just so it's the complete opposition to this guy they preach to the JC figure in their own story.
Yeah,
like he's so anti. Like I often, if like Jesus walked into that church where the little drummer boys are like fucking flying in the air for the Christmas show, if he saw the amount of production, the money that got spent behind the scenes.
Oh, totally.
Right? Like how have we gotten that far?
I remember having this very thought as I was installing a $30,000 projector in the ceiling of the church that I worked at. There's no way God would be stoked on, if Jesus was real and like came back, there's no way he'd be stoked on any of this.
Oh my God, no. No,
And I know that that's such like a like, yeah, duh. But like, if you really think about it, like, imagine Jesus walking into a megachurch. The fucking lights and the smoke and the cool pastor.
dude, I feel like like full Tarantino.
Yeah.
It would be like there'd be machine guns. At one point, a flamethrower falls into his hands. You know, it'd be like, "You've made my father's house."
Yeah. Well, you think about the table flipping he did, I'm sure that wasn't the first time, because he kind of went in and did some damage.
You're fucking up people's money too.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I'm nowadays, if you fuck with like a mobster's money, what happens?
Mm.
So
You think Jesus is going to start whacking some people?
oh God, it's just so far off.
It really is. Come on, let's stand, everybody. Get your hands up in the air. Let's worship him. The fucking lights, the backing tracks.
Right, yeah. Yeah, the money being passed, the homeless people out front, like fucking not allowed in, like
the pastor's reserved spot.
Joel Osteen, how much are Joel Osteen floor tickets? They're like $5,000.
Wait, you have to actually pay to go to his church?
He does like speaking tours, and then when he's doing those tours, like in the arenas throughout, like the floor, the ones close to the stage, are like pricey. That's like Taylor Swift money.
That's insane. How does one justify needing that much money? Like what?
Yeah, see now, because Jesus is real clear about it. Like you can't worship God and money.
Yeah.
Right. He has a fuckload of hits about this topic. And it is like, at least from the Bible's perspective, in Acts, like, all the apostles, all the dudes that hung out with him they're fucking Bernie Sanders voters, dude. They're driving Priuses with like "Feel the Burn" stickers. So they all live together. They're like, yeah, he's so anti-money. I don't know how anyone could fall for that prosperity shit.
Yeah, the prosperity stuff, man.
You have to like ignore the words in red in your Bible. You have to ignore the words Jesus is saying in the Bible in order to believe in that kind of shit.
When you look at these these extreme examples like Joel Osteen and Creflo Dollar, these other like just huge. Oh yeah, look him up. He's a trip. But these, the prosperity gospel pastors, and they've got their trajectory. They've missed. It's so off. But if you look down the line at all these other pastors, like, it's similar things, right? Like, everyone's trajectory just seems to be off when it comes to how they're either leading their church or how they're like representing the Bible.
Yeah.
And in some different ways. So whether it's money, whether it's the, LGBTQIA,
totally,
or all these different things, the trajectory is just so off in so many directions that it's insane.
That's interesting. And why is that? It's just like we choose to believe these passages of the Bible, and now we're going to make a club on Sunday that no one else, if you don't believe exactly these, passages,
Yeah, I mean, I know I could speak to the church that I was part of, and we were what other churches would make fun of and call us like church light, like diet church. Because we were like a mega church, and our whole motto is everyone's welcome, right? Like we played a opening video where it goes through like everybody's welcome, whether you're gay or straight or a robber, like which is
my God, they're equating it.
Or you've been divorced and all this stuff, like so that was the opening like welcome video, like everyone's welcome. And then you really get into it and you realize like, oh no, there's some serious like rules to this. But the basically what there was a time too that the church I was a part of was in the newspaper. Like this is back in like the 80s, and they were being like they were up and coming. They had like thousands of people going to it like as a startup.
Damn.
And they were known as the rock church. So they were like progressive because this is like on the end of like the whole Maranatha movement. You had
Oh my God.
like
Yeah.
so we and then we had like all these like famous musicians that were in our area that would come and play at the church, but like people from like the band Tesla would come and like play at the church and
Holy
like
shit.
so all of these like 80s like hair metal rock guys, right? And we became known as like the rock church and the progressive, like they'll play rock music in church. They let you wear jeans and sandals to church and all that stuff. But like
Really pandering.
yeah, but the doctrine, like all of it was the same, right? Like it was all smoke and mirrors. It was all a show. But once you really got in, like you realize, like, oh, my pastors can't marry me if I'm gay, like all these things. But they were like showing on the surface, like, hey, we're so cool. And the problem with this church is they kept the same formula. Like it's the same formula. They do like they'll play like a fucking Cardi B song and like turn it into like a worship, like a Christian song or something like that. Like, yeah, it's
They're talking about like fucking WAP for Jesus.
oh, things like yeah. Dude.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess if you ever spend any time poring over the Gospels and like reading what Jesus does, he is just trying to kind of help people. You can pull that out of there. And like you
Yeah.
brought it up, it's so weird that they use that like fucking politicians are like a bait and switch. They're like acceptance, love, community, and it's like, well, only if.
Within these guidelines.
And those guidelines are always broken by the top brass. Always, they're like, don't drink and don't fuck. And then like you show up with those guys 15 years later, see how they're doing, check in. You know, they're like, you know.
They fall into two categories: been caught and haven't been caught yet.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, this is probably what's this and the. It seems, at least from my angle, a lot of people have been having problem with like the radical Trump stuff in the church.
Yeah.
But like people are leaving the church in a mass exodus already
Yeah.
at this moment. So the alien shit on top of that is, I think the church is. I think this might be it. I
I'm
know
so
people have said that before. But
I know. I'm so pumped that aliens are a thing right now.
it's kind of nuts, man. Like,
Little disappointed that we're calling them like what something like unorganic matter or something like that, and then we're also calling UFOs UAPs. Like fuck that, they are UFOs, motherfucker.
Yeah, kind of just. It's weird that like it gives credit to so many weird stories you've heard that like people would demonize the individuals telling, right?
Did you ever hear the Fire in the Sky? Did you ever see that movie and then that whole story? I think it took place either up in like Oregon or Washington. It's these loggers, and they legit like get abducted by aliens, and they like not the type of people to make shit up, right?
Yeah.
And they come back and they all like go to the police. They tell their story. They do lie detector tests that they all pass, and no one believes them. Everybody just calls them crazy. You know, so those, I wonder what they feel like. But they got like their account of what happened to them is fucking terrifying if it's true. Like they're getting like probed in the eyes with needles and shit. Like,
What the fuck?
I know.
What the fuck? Well,
At this point though, I'm ready to go. Take me. I want to go up in one of those.
yeah, I'd say so. Yeah,
Could you imagine if like aliens picked you and I up?
dude? I'm in. I've been doing this since I was a little kid. I've had a green lightsaber since I couldn't carry one. But the fucking, it like, it's just if it's in the biblical accounts too, then like, what are we? Because like, are we just like monkeys that aliens came down and fucked into existence, and then like we wrote down some holy stories about them, and now we're paying taxes and like dealing with
Yeah,
existential, like we have consciousness. Like,
dude. Yeah, I heard a theory the other day, and this is me watching way too much TikTok. So, and probably mixing stories together, but it'll be interesting none the least. Um, someone was saying that when like all the ancient civilizations and like the departure of all of them, like basically were aliens coming back and like destroying them, and then like allowing us to come up for some other reason. And someone in the government is reported saying, "You ready for this? We're ready for them when they come this time."
oh my God.
So who knows? Wouldn't that be crazy if
That would
that's
be
the truth? That's
fucking
such a movie like plot right there.
Yeah, it's making me go heavy footed into simulation theory.
Yeah, I've kind of been
like,
hanging there too.
right? It's like
Yep.
this is too fucking weird.
Yeah, there's no way this is all real. That thought keeps popping into my head over and over again.
Yeah, and I feel comfortable talking to you about this shit because I never went to school and we're band guys, so I can like
Yeah, we don't know
so
anything
dumb to you,
about it.
right?
We
Yeah,
just- yes,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
the same.
Yeah, but like, have you heard of the double slit experiment with light?
No,
This is crazy because it was done in like
hold on.
forever ago. Got a doggy.
Yeah, I don't know why he's freaking out. Give me 1 second. That's how you burp, my dude.
That's a good job. You're a singer. Good job. That was great resonance.
All right,
What now? Oh,
double slit theory.
I totally fucking forgot
That
what
what
I
it's
was talking
called?
about. Yeah, the double slit experiment. So
Well, sexual.
hallelujah.
Keep going.
Hooah. So this scientist takes a lantern, puts a green covered like lantern cover on it, right? So it's only shooting green light. And then he shoots it through these different slits in paper, and he observes the pattern it makes on the farthest wall. And it doesn't actually act like he thought it would. It's really strange. So over the years, scientists have perfected this, and they find out that, because, Isaac Newton thought that sunlight was like a particle, like a BB, like it had mass and like it was this little tiny thing.
Yeah.
And then there was another scientist who's a genius who thought it was a wave, But it turns out that light, every time you look at it, becomes a wave. And if not, it's a particle or something like this. So light itself knows whether or not it's being observed. And that is the weirdest fucking shit I've ever heard. And then there was this like scientist last year, the year before that, he won the Nobel Prize for proving that the universe isn't locally real.
Whoa.
Meaning,
I honestly thought you were about to say the Earth is flat, and I was about to.
No.
I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, no. I grew up so weird that I never fall for any of that shit. But with how absurd everything is happening now, I think we're all just reaching. We're all just reaching for fucking anything. And it's so weird that everyone's theology now is essentially like a 2015 Reddit thread. This is all like where all of us are fucking so deep in the woods.
Yeah. I'm with you, dude. I mean, it's hard because like I like to think about this stuff and I like to dive into it. The nice thing is, like, since I left the church and left Christianity, is I don't feel this need in me no longer to find out what the truth is. Like, I don't know why. I'm just kind of like, I don't think that there's anything that, like, I don't believe in this heaven and hell system, right? Like, I don't think there are these, like, things that if I do, I'm going to hell. You know what I mean? Like, so it kind of made me not care anymore.
So you could focus on what you like.
Yeah, because then I really am focusing on being here, and like I like the life that I have. I have an amazing wife. My kids are rad. Like I feel I get to make stupid songs on the internet. Like
right. It's almost like once you quit Christianity, all the benefits of a Christ-centered life start coming in.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, totally.
right? All that giving for years and years, all that karma you've built up, it's just slowly
Holes in
starting.
my crown.
Yeah, yeah. Now you're wearing the shirt that I haven't been able to buy yet, but I want to. You know what I'm saying? You're living good. But like, we also are living in a time where we might be able to get in a spaceship and go across the universe, across the galaxies. Like,
Yeah.
what does this mean?
Yeah. It means a lot, honestly. If I can we play a game real quick?
Yeah.
All right. If you had to take like 3 celebrities in your spaceship, who are you taking with you?
This is really good.
This is good content right here, man.
Yeah, let me think. I'm gonna put Theo Vaughn.
That says so much about you, and I love you.
It's just you're gonna need someone to keep you grounded in some perspective, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If we're talking only celebrities.
You could pick your 3, but yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stay with celebrities. So then you want like Charlize Theron, you know what I'm saying, and probably Joe Rogan, to be honest.
Okay, that's an interesting spaceship.
Or like Shaq. You know what I'm saying? Like you need someone that can handle some shit.
Fucking Pauly Shore.
Yeah, John Jones, like the fucking
Dude.
Mike Tyson. Someone.
I was going a different way. Pauly Shore did not fit in that.
Pauly Shore does not fit in
What
that.
if, like in my mind, Pauly Shore is the toughest fucking guy in the
you're
world?
like Brendan Fraser and Pauly. You're like going full Biodome. Like I've seen how they act.
Okay, my first pick is Tommy Lee Jones. I want Tommy Lee Jones. You know, I need a dad in this. Like, and I feel like Tommy Lee Jones would be a good dad.
That's so valid. That's really valid. Yeah, yeah. Some stoicism. You know,
I'm bringing Machine Gun Kelly to make fun of the whole time. Just because, you know, like you've been on tour a lot. So you know how, like, when you're on tour, like one person becomes the scapegoat.
Yeah.
Right? And the one that everybody makes fun of. Like, so we're bringing Machine Gun Kelly. So just everybody
low hanging fruit
has a target to just rip on. Yeah, and then I think my
it's fucking good, dude. It's fucking really good.
My third, I'm bringing The Rock.
Yeah,
right.
That's smart. Yeah, that's smart. That's a good one.
I mean, imagine landing on another planet with your team, and Pauly Shore. No, you don't want. You want The Rock getting off.
But I wonder, can The Rock hunt food? Because that's what I'm saying. You're gonna need someone that knows how to like dress some.
That's know, like when you do video games and you have like the disadvantages and the advantages of each character. Like The Rock's gonna wither away soon. Like he's not a long lasting. You got him for a couple days and then he's dead.
He doesn't have his protein shakes.
Yes.
And we can't kill The Rock. We need him.
So this trip now has become selfish. I can. My spaceship is a selfish
who we want to hang out with.
We killed the fucking Rock, man.
Oh no. But if they wanted to take any of us, don't you think they would have?
I think they have. I think they have.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they may put us back. Maybe they don't keep us.
Have you ever smoked DMT?
No.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do that. It's pretty wild, man.
That's what I've heard. I've heard that. Have you heard the thing about the lasers in DMT?
Yeah, the light stuff that's supposed to invoke.
So there's this guy who claims that if you do DMT, I sound like a Christian talking about DMT. When you do DMT,
so the Lord of the Rings is really fun.
So DMT, and you shine like a certain laser at the wall while you're on it, you can see code, right? And so you should look it up. And so other people started doing it, and they're claiming that they see code as well.
Interesting.
This
Well,
this commercial is brought to you by my new DMT laser.
buy it now for $72,568.
Check it out on my TikTok shop.
The fucking to be honest, that kind of makes sense because when I've done it with a bunch of different buddies, and my wife even, and if it's a strange substance because when you hit it a couple times, you get to like different levels of high. Yeah. And so it's like when you hit this one before you kind of blast off, we all always say that we see like I guess that could be code. It's like it looks like there's like everything's gray and there's like a pyramid and there's these different structures, but they seem to be made out of Legos that are constantly moving.
Whoa.
And it's the weirdest, like we all described it the same way.
Yeah, the thing that fascinates me about what I've read and what I've heard about DMT is the consistency of it, right? In the sense of like you are consistently seeing these entities or encountering things that like other people have claimed to encounter there as well. Like hard to describe things, right? Am I getting this right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's strange because it's there's just no real words to describe what's happening, but it seems like there's things there that communicate with you. So that thing could be like a glowing universe or universes.
Wow.
But like you'll hear it talking in your head. You won't hear it talking aloud. It's like an epiphany.
Yeah.
You know, that's the weirdest part is like, is this like, what if this is alien technology?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, so it made me become spiritual again, even though that's the wrong word for it. Cause I'm not like wearing yoga pants trying to fuck everything, you know? Yeah. But like, I was such an atheist and then I took 14 hits of that one night with my buddy and was.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting for me. I've never talked about this, but I did have a mushroom trip. I did it in a really like we treated it like medicine. Like we did it in a very really good way,
controlled
and very controlled. And so for me, I went into it an atheist, right? Like there's no God, there's nothing. And had a very profound experience where I mean I can't remember the last time I cried that hard and that much truly. Just, like I had a lot of like revelations about myself and about my family. It was not like it was not like the trip that like everybody wants with the fracture, like seeing all this cool stuff, right? Like for me, it was a very like I wrote love letters to my children, and it was really beautiful, right? But I could not deny the feeling of connectedness that I felt with everything around me. And I know that sounds, you know, you hear that a lot. That sounds very like hippy dippy or whatever, you know. But for me, it truly was profound. And after I came out, I thought to myself, like, there is no way, in my opinion, that this isn't all real, if that makes sense. Like the feelings that I was having and the connectedness. And so it was a profound experience for me.
It switched you from atheistic to
yeah,
agnostic?
I would say I am, you know, I kind of my view now, and it changes regularly. Actually, if I'm completely honest with you, for the last 2 months, I haven't really thought about God at all. I've been really busy with work, and so even like my content, I haven't been doing as much. But I came out feeling like, yeah, there is something. There's something else out there.
Yeah, dimensions, vibrations, something bigger than us outside that it has to bleed through in some way. I think music is a portal to that. Like we say it a lot on this, and I guess it's safe because bunch of music fans, but it seems to like that was my first psychedelic experience. I think is concerts. You know, now that I love psychedelics and I've done them a bunch, but it's kind of the same feeling, right? And like maybe that's what Christ was tapping into. Also, a thing we beat, like, because like, what an interesting thing. You took this substance, you essentially died to your old self, and then you were born again afterwards, right? And like in that process, I don't know if you had the same kind of positive effects, but like every time after I have a decent mushroom trip, even if it's a tiny, tiny one, I just feel so fucking grateful.
Yes.
It's the weirdest thing. It's just like the grateful meter is just like, I'm just so grateful to be alive, to be here, to be a human, to not be a sink, you know, to be able to move around and, you know, and so like, what if we got caught off from the most important sacrament in our religious services?
It's a good question. It's a now I haven't done mushrooms in a bit now.
We went out to Joshua Tree, see, so I like
okay.
I'm still a little bit glowy.
No, and so I forget what I was saying.
Oh, the reborn Christianity sacrament being cut off from
this
sacred.
I don't know, I lost my train of thought.
Well, maybe maybe it's because we're about to get into. We need to start like a drug church, for real.
You want to start a drug church?
I do, but it always goes wrong.
It totally turns into a sex
It's
cult.
like maybe right. Maybe our drug church is just us. You know, I guess that just makes us drug addicts, though. See, so there's a fine line. I guess there has to be like a white river rafting involved.
Oh my god!
And then you know you're okay.
I love white river rafting. You want to hear a funny white river I can't talk because I'm dyslexic.
Me too.
Recently learned that I'm dyslexic and I'm 43 years old.
How did that affect you? I do want to hear. I'll bring up the white river rafting after this. But.
How did my dyslexia?
How find it out?
Oh my god! So, long story short, when I was a kid, I got diagnosed with ADHD and dyslexic, and my mom kind of convinced me that I wasn't because she's like, you don't write your words backwards and you're not hyper. So the doctor's lying. So then my whole life I kind of went through thinking like,
thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Well, thinking like, yeah, I'm not. And then I realized and I got diagnosed. I am very. So all of those things. My poor wife.
Dude, it just makes you a party. When you said that, it would literally, I saw you walking in and the doctor being like, well, so you're really fun to be around and writing you a prescription. And it's like, why would you not want to be dyslexic and ADHD?
Yeah, totally. It's a good thing. But it's also a struggle at times. Like,
and when you don't know about it, you live this entire...
Yeah, I cried. I cried when I found out I had it because it honestly was so validating because I felt very dumb my whole life that I don't know how to spell the word business. I could, how many times I've tried to spell that word? It's so dumb, right? Like, like, and it's one of those words that sometimes autocorrect doesn't get it, and you're like, oh man, how do you really spell this word? Gotta go to Google.
It's hard.
It is. Anyway, so yeah, it's like finding that out because my whole life I couldn't take, 4 numbers. Like if you told me a combination, like, hey, I could unlock my combo lock.
Yeah.
And I didn't write it down.
It's gone.
There's no way I would ever remember it. Even if I said the numbers to my head the whole way there to open it. Like, so anyways, it's been a struggle. So feeling like I'm not dumb. And like the things about like filling out forms and all that, like that really petrifies me and scares me. And because I don't understand all, it's all part of my disability. It's incredible. It was very liberating to hear.
Yeah. I was 30 and I saw a documentary about it, dyslexia. And I had the same exact response. Just started crying, just bawling like a bitch for hours and hours and hours. It's like, I'm not a moron. You know?
Yeah. And my diagnosis is so new now that I'm kind of being like that little bitch about it, that I'm like, that's my disability.
You're like, why couldn't it have been Tourette's? But like, I think it's great. I think it's amazing. Jeff Redding says that that will save the world. You know, neurally divergent people. Because who wants to wear an Under Armour shirt and find comfort by doing exactly what everyone else is doing?
Yeah, CrossFit.
You know?
I may get canceled for this whole podcast.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? You're just a sweetheart. Why would you be canceled?
Sorry, CrossFitters.
CrossFitters? No,
I was talking about like CrossFitters, like the Christian ones. Capital T.
That is a big thing. Like a lot of Christians are into the gym now.
Oh yeah, that's because they hate their spouses.
That is so sad. That is such a true thing.
Yeah,
it's such a real. It's so sad. And if there's a pastor that's like on at the pulpit, like trying to talk about how
smoking hot wife,
it's the most awkward words it's the most non-sexual words I've ever heard. Every time.
No.
Look at that hottie pants over there. You know, it's like these people have no idea what the fuck is supposed to have. Like. And it's so sad to me because it's almost like they get set up. Like, you know, we both know the church kind of plays matchmaker for you.
Oh yeah.
If you're in it, you know?
Yeah, it does. You know, it really puts a pressure on. Now we're jumping into like some purity culture stuff.
We can go.
It really puts some pressure on relationships because marriage is the goal. And so, you know, so I remember, I dated my first wife in high school, and the goal was always marriage. There was no other goal. That made, you know, dating pointless. If there, you know, like the whole I kiss dating goodbye stuff, you know, that's
what I did.
Dating was so pointless.
Yeah, right. And it makes sense. You're not trying to figure out if you like your nipples twisted. You're not allowed to do that. You're not trying to figure out if like that person should put a finger up your butthole or not. Like,
no, you're not trying to figure that out. But even like the music you listen to, right? Like you're trying to like figure out like it's everything. And so, within the church, the end goal is marriage. So you're fighting to get married essentially when you're in a purity culture relationship.
Yeah, and you can't have sex till you do. So they rush into it, and then they don't get their nipples twisted, and then you can see it on their face every Sunday. They're like pent up and not fulfilled, and they're angry, and they're like, "My wife's so hot."
Like, do you like your nipples twisted?
No, I don't, but it just seems funny right now.
It,
yeah, I hate it too.
Owie,
just seemed like the best joke. Yeah.
Let's be artists.
Have you ever read the War of Art?
I can't read, dude.
Oh man, you should do audiobooks. We just talked about that.
Oh yeah, audiobooks is where it's at. I need to do that.
You don't do that?
No, I just like honestly, I work with kids and a lot of them. And
you don't have the CPU at the end of the day. I actually like drive home with nothing playing, which is the first time in my life. Yeah, have you ever been in a float tank?
No, but I would really like to go into a float tank.
I bet that would be cool for you.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't know, or my mind might explode because all I would have is that.
Nah. What you'd be yourself in there. You'd be maybe a little too entertained. You'd be like, why do I even need TikTok? I'm awesome.
I think if I was in one of those pods, if I'm truly honest, if I'm in one of those little pods, I'm trying to do somersaults and shit in the water. Like, I don't think I'm not playing in the water.
It is, so one thing you should be warned about, like, because it's like 1,000 pounds of Epsom salt. So as you get in the water, you'll feel like it's almost like slime eventually. You just feel like this. And so if you fart, you're going to think you shit your pants. just to warn you, it's like those bubbles are all slimy, and you fart. And you're like, did I just fucking shit in the flotation tank? And then you get out, you shower, you like realize you don't, and then you wasted some time. So.
I would panic thinking about the people that might see my shit in the thing. Did you?
You're pretty isolated. You get like a shower usually.
I know, but don't you think they come check the tub afterwards? And
yeah,
they'd be like, dude, that guy shit in the tub.
Yeah, no, but you won't. It's just the feeling of Epsom salt everywhere.
Oh my god, dude! This story's out of nowhere, but
yes.
Here you go. You ever done a mud bath?
No.
Okay, I did cool? A mud bath. No, it's not fucking cool. I'll tell you why it's not cool. So, first of all, this was like in Napa. It's like this like beautiful wine country.
Napa.
So, I don't know why, but the mud bath place is like in someone's garage. Essentially, it's like all brick and. I had like a hot massage. Everything had been hot this day. I was over hot. I don't like hot. And so I don't, and now here's another thing to the dyslexia. I can't do accents really well. And I have a hard time understanding people who speak like in a heavy accent. I have a hard time putting it together. And so this woman was speaking and she had a very heavy accent. And the person with me understood clearly every direction and followed them perfectly. So I was like struggling with like getting a ring off my finger, and so I couldn't get in right away. And you can hear the woman starting to come, and I'm just standing there naked now, and I'm like, well, I don't want to be standing here naked. So I go and I jump into the mud. So fucking hot. Like, and there's coils at the bottom of the mud that heat the mud up. And so my feet just went down to the coils, and I'm like burning my feet and like screaming, but still the lady's coming, and I'm like, now I am stuck with my feet in, and so I lay back, like I lay all the way back,
distribute some weight,
and I'm not sinking in. Like there's a technique to sink in, and so like it's just my junk hanging out of the mud, like, and this woman is coming in, and so now I'm heaping hot mud, trying to
bury your penis.
And she comes in, and then she's like seeing that I'm struggling, so she's trying to like push me down into the mud. Apparently, what I missed in her delivery was you just had to wiggle. You wiggle down into it. I jumped in like cannonball.
So it probably becomes harder when you do that. It becomes like concrete when you try to force it. It's fun. You should have given yourself like 5 minutes to let your body sink past your dick, though. I don't know. That's on you. See, you should have thought that one through. You're like, I'm gonna need a minute for this thing to hide.
Oh, believe me, it was hiding. That mud was so hot, it wanted no part of that mud, but the only way to like not be naked in front of this woman was to cover it in hot mud. Anyways, let's talk about God. And that's why Jesus washes away all of the mud in our lives, and he restores our feet that we have burned in the mud.
The redemption fire. You know what blows my mind every time we talk is all I want to talk to you about is that book. It's called The Immortality Key.
Tell me more.
Well, we talked about it when you came on the podcast, and I talk about it a lot, and so people probably do get annoyed, and I don't fucking care.
There's nothing you have said that has ever annoyed me. I think you're fascinating.
Yay! Yeah, because it's like, well, John the Baptist is this like,
he's a nut,
and he's popular too. Like we're reading through the Gospels, and there's like, you know, Luke and John are constantly trying to like put Jesus above John.
Yeah.
And what that signifies to me is that John must have been fucking popular.
Yeah.
Then, you know, so
which makes like, his death even that much sadder, and Jesus' response.
Yeah, and it also is like, what is he doing out in the desert? Because they only send people they don't like out to the desert. You know, it's not like you know, it's not like Drake. Everyone's like, get out of here. You know? Like, Justin Bieber is fucking, you know, it's like, No, there's weird motherfuckers that believe weird shit. So, like, what was he doing out there? And this guy he speaks Sanskrit. He was a lawyer. He gets obsessed with this weird angle on the whole idea of Jesus' ministry being an updated psychedelic wine ritual from Greece.
Okay.
And he starts digging into this, and there's like an alarming amount of evidence, at least. If nothing else, we should just be talking about it a bunch because it's fascinating. Because the Gospels themselves come around pretty late compared to Jesus' life, you know.
Right.
And churches right then, some of the earliest church sites we can find seem to, well, I might have just made that fact up, but some early church sites, especially in Rome.
Dan?
Dan! I know, I love him. Anyway, they have these wine vessels that are spiked with psychedelic wine. They have like ergot, like LSD type chemical in them that like, so what if the Last Supper was like the sickest fucking trip that the disciples ever got to be taken on?
Wow. That'd be cool, man. I'd be so into that if that were true.
What if it, like, think about like Sunday afternoon, your family fasts, you know, you guys all prepare by praying or by meditating or by yoga. You get ready. Then you go in the evening to the synagogue, to your place of worship, and the parents go off into a safe room, you know, where they're like given psychedelic wine, and the kid, you know, like,
yeah,
I have a hard time not thinking that would be the fucking coolest. Like, that could heal our entire society.
Oh, probably. Honestly. Have you seen that documentary on Netflix, How to Change Your Mind?
Yeah.
So the peyote rituals, I thought that was really fascinating when I was watching the show. That this tribe, you know, the peyote is sacred to them, and it's like a weekly thing that they do. They go and they take peyote together, and you know, they all talk about how it's cleansing them, and you know, be interesting to see, you know, if that really translates into their daily lives of just living in peace and all that.
It's real hard to be an asshole when you're on mushrooms. I think it's or if directly after. It's real hard to be like, to be honest, it's real hard to lie to yourself.
Yeah. Well, because the whole ego death, right? Like it kills the ego.
And I think that's why most people have bad trips, because they've built this motherfucking thing up every day of their life that they think is themselves. And then you ingest this one thing and it shatters that instantly. And now they feel like they've lost control. Yeah. You know? So the trip kind of spirals like that. But like, whenever I've had that happen, it's because I was fucking lying to myself, you know? And like you said, my first mushroom trip, I instantly, excuse me, I got these tiny burps compared to you, bro. I'm feeling all self-conscious now. Your Schwartz is bigger than mine.
I wouldn't go down in the mud.
Yeah. But so like, you know, this first mushroom trip I had, I was like trying to make sure everyone had the best time. It was so annoying.
So sweet.
And because like at one of the points I just stop, I'm getting really high and I'm like, oh, I always had to like perform for my mom because she was always depressed. So I was like always expected to like start dancing or fix this or like tell a joke or like start acting or play a song. And it was like, that's like 10 years of fucking therapy.
Yeah, wow.
You know, and so like, yeah, you might get scared. We might like, let's say everyone fucking in your mega church, like gets high dosed, gets a heroic dose in their sacrament. Yeah. They come down, they eat the body and the blood, but it's that peyote.
You know,
even if,
sorry.
No, go ahead. Yes, like, won't that be, even if it's bad, it's going to be good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
No.
One of the things that was very clear to me after I had my experience was that I think a lot of people could heal their religious trauma with this. You know, it was
for real.
it was profound for me. Because for me, it made like a lot of my trip focused a lot on my belief. And I remember just kind of seeing, like the shot of the earth getting tinier and tinier and tinier as it goes by. Like I was seeing that.
The pale
I saw
blue
how
dot.
small everything was. And specifically the church, like the church looked tiny and the Bible looked tiny in this trip I was having, right? And I came out and it really shifted my perspective of like, oh, like I have broken through a ceiling in my life of this belief system that kind of kept me trapped. And it was profound. It was really, so and now looking back on it, I don't I don't have that like the still small voice in my head, that they say in Christianity, that still small voice, that still lived in me when I kind of went out of the church, but in a different way. In a, what if this isn't true? It felt the same, but like, what if you were wrong? What if you're going to hell? And that time I did mushrooms really helped break that idea in me. I got to see how small that perspective was, and it was so profound.
Preach. God damn. I'm like, amen. I want to like bring the choir in. Like, keep going, brother Joshua. You know what I'm saying? Like that's huge. And hell, was that like always a thing? Were you always scared of it?
No, I have a weird relationship with hell. Like I was never a big heaven or hell guy when I was a Christian.
Okay.
And so like I always thought heaven was going to be weird. Like I couldn't comprehend it because I'm like, I don't want to just fucking sing in a group of people
forever
these lame songs.
Yeah, unisex people, by the way.
Like we're just going to sing holy, holy, holy over and over again.
Yeah, with no genitals.
Yeah. Yeah, and
so if you think about it, it's kind of progressive.
Yeah. So it is. Target's going to start selling angel wear.
Angel wear. That's how they do it.
Heaven wear.
Neither given nor taken in marriage.
So with hell,
I can derail a little too much. Huh?
No,
okay.
Maybe we probably want to cut that.
No way. We're keeping all of this. What are you talking about? I'm keeping the burps.
The tiny burps. The hell was a weird relationship because I always hated hell.
Yeah.
More than I was afraid of it.
Yeah.
And this is because I wasn't born into it, right? Like I wasn't born into this hell doctrine. In fact, my family was very, very liberal. Like they didn't talk about anything. My mom told me I was baptized because she bought me a gold cross. Like
I saw this Blade movie. I think this is going to help.
She claims she dipped it in holy water, but I'm like, there's no way she made the trip to the church to do that. She just told me that. But I grew up in this environment where like that didn't exist. Like there was no talk about hell. And so when I was first introduced to like hell and this idea when I was like 14, and that's a volatile age. And so, and it was right into this kind of like being an evangelist right away, right?
Okay.
Like because you want to save your friends. Because here's the truth, like hell is real and your friends are going to go there. And so like, I am freaking the fuck out because all of my friends, and we're all like into punk rock together, and like at the same time of all this going on, like all of my friends are going to hell in my mind. And so I was like, I need to save them. And it got a little weird for a bit, but then I mellowed out and I just became a dude. Like I kind of like I always felt guilt because I thought I was living a double life because I was just how I am now, like a little less evolved, but like with my friends, and then I'd kind of turn it off when I got into the church and I wouldn't swear as much, but I still swore a lot there too.
It's funny how that matters.
I know, right?
Like the sounds you make with your fucking face determine whether or not God loves you. Like that's insane.
Yeah.
But
so I resented hell a lot. I resented it because of my friends. Like I thought I thought my best friend Keith was going to hell, you know,
Yeah.
and I thought that
Well, he might be. No, I'm talking. I'm
probably
just joking.
um he did some of the Alkaline Trio artwork, so he's probably going to
Oh,
hell.
sick. Yeah, he's definitely going to hell then.
But yeah, it changed my, like, so giving all that up, giving heaven and hell up was really easy for me, honestly, in my like
Oh man,
deconstruction, because I
interesting.
was like, I already fucking hated it. I already
Yeah.
hated kind of the idea of heaven. Like, even when I was a Christian, my response to, like, I kind of had a thing with heaven. I was like, we're not here for heaven. Like, we're here to live in this moment and like
That's
love
really smart, dude.
and like we're here to like care for people and bring resources to people and without like asking for anything back. But
Amen.
you know, fuck, it was
But yeah, but that doesn't keep people in the fucking
it
pews
doesn't.
giving the tax-free monies. The
No, but the
Skrilla.
cool thing is I could still live that lifestyle, but just without the church and Jesus and all that. Like, not much has changed in who I am as a person. I've never really been like a phony dude, even in the church. Like, I really believed I was doing something good.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because you're a good person.
Well, so are you.
Yeah.
You're
Well, I try to be. I think, but I was petrified of hell.
yeah, right.
I'd have dreams about it. I wrote murals on my wall about it, on my ceiling. I was petrified. I mean, eventually, by the time I was about 12, 13, 10, no, I was like 11, 12. I accepted Jesus at summer camp. Then I wasn't scared about it.
Yeah.
Before I was like,
Wow.
because I didn't want to just believe what my family believed. Because around the dinner table, it was like, even as a young kid, I was like, so I held out as long as I could. But there kept being all these arguments. And then it was just off to the races. But the more I read the Bible and the contradictions that lie therein, specifically about like heaven and hell, it's really weird. Like in the Old Testament, there's not really hell. There's just like this, maybe it's pretty vague, but sleepless purgatory that everyone goes to.
Yeah, right. Isn't that
And-
what Seventh Day Adventists like kind of hang their hat on?
oh, I don't know.
I think it is.
My old place up in Buckley, Washington, that I used to live was right next to a Seventh Day Adventist house, and so when I moved in, my wireless router was Satan's 69 party.
Every time I think about Seventh Day Adventists, I think of these twins who were beautiful.
Oh,
Like
god damn.
they went to high school with me, and they went to a Seventh Day Adventist church. So
Yep, you're like, yeah. I think of I go from Seventh Day to Jehovah's Witness because they're
yeah,
kind of.
they're like, right? Is that how it is? They're like a
I
step.
feel like
above,
they're
like
kissing
most-
cousins, yeah. Like those denominations sometimes end up at the same potlucks. Right. I think so. But like the fucking, can you imagine? That's because that means if you're a J-ho, you got. Oh, that's probably really rude, but sorry. But Prince is in your camp.
Yeah,
Prince was a Jehovah's Witness.
yeah.
That's crazy, right?
It's like Tom Cruise being the Scientology guy, right?
That kind of makes sense because that's even more culty. Because Jehovah's Witness, they just seem really bored.
Let's be honest, though. There's no way Prince was a practicing Jehovah's Witness.
I believe it, dude.
Did you see like his house? It's got mirrors everywhere.
I made a record with this guy named John Goodmanson. Do you know that guy?
No.
He did like all the Nada Surf and early Death Cab.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Blonde Red. He did Harvey Danger and like he's just this rad producer, rad Seattle guy. Amazing. Can't believe I got to make a record with him. He's so cool. He's so cool. And he made a record with Wendy from the Revolution.
Okay.
And so he got to go to like Prince's house at a party.
Yeah.
And it's in the Hollywood Hills. And Prince is obsessed and known for just playing music constantly. So there's like an entire band setup in the living room with like his symbol being laser projected in the foyer, and it's like Maroon 5 and Naomi Campbell and like it's like
Yeah.
fucking who you'd expect at Prince's house. And he's nowhere. Hours go by, nowhere. Wendy, because she was in the, she's in Purple Rain. She wrote that fucking riff for Purple Rain.
Yeah.
Like she's like over it. She's pissed. She's like, we're going. And right then, John says like he just like appeared. Like right at that moment, he just like, shh. And he was talking to them, and his security guard, this big, huge, buff black guy, that was also his guitar tech sometimes, came to him. And he's like, "Hey, Ashley Simpson and Paris Hilton just showed up in a limo," and he's like, "Was that girl that lip synced last week on SNL?" And the guy was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Tell her she's not invited."
Oh my God. I love it.
I love it.
I have a Prince story. It's not my story, but I've heard this story from my friend. Basically, Prince it was like Tama they wanted to like sponsor him and make a Prince drum line or it's some drum company.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm giving a lot of validity to this fucking story right now.
Tama, a lot of R&B guys like that Tama shit. Yeah.
They're on that Thomas shit.
Yeah, they're on that Thomas shit.
But there was rules. Like there was rules for the meeting. And the meeting was that you weren't allowed to talk directly to Prince. You had to talk to a dude who would then communicate. And this is like right when he made that shift for the artist formerly known as. And so, yeah, what was that guy on? And so, yeah, he made another dude like talk to this guy, and then he would like communicate. And then at one point, the guy was like, "Fuck this," and then Prince walked out.
What a fucking! He was probably an alien.
Prince?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm right.
Yeah.
Right when I said that, the audio did the weirdest shit in my headphones.
Dude, Prince is haunting us now.
Oh, the government.
I heard it again. Dude.
Yeah.
That was my poor rendition.
That was
It was like a mix of X-Files and Unsolved Mysteries going on there.
That's actually probably how you make money. That's the John Mayer thing. Take this song and that song.
Have you seen any of John Mayer with the Dead?
No, I'm a little too jealous.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. I'm a little too jealous. I've seen like half a clip. I turn it off because like I respect John Mayer, but I hate him. I love John Mayer. He's the funniest, most amazing guy. He makes me laugh so hard. I'm just a little jelly.
I'm just
a little jelly.
He's incredible. And
he's so smart. Like write songs for 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
Like
it's a guy who wrote "Your Body Is a Wonderland," and now
Daughters
ripping on the Dead. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, that's my dream gig too. Because like all I want to, that's all I do is like,
yeah.
I just like that country band I was in. We had to play for 8 hours one day at the Ellensburg Rodeo. We had to do 4 hours in the morning, 4 hours at night.
Oh my gosh!
Oh, so rad.
That's so fun though.
So many solos you have to come up with on the spot, and it's like I don't know. It's my favorite type of stress.
My favorite thing in the whole world is performing, like in a band. And it's sad I don't get to do it all that often. The stuff that I do online, it kind of scratches that itch, but
yeah, no, it's not.
I love performing. It was fun.
I don't think it made me boring because for like 22 years it was the only thing I cared about and focused on.
Yeah.
So
wait, I'd be curious to hear this. Try and describe your live music. Like what is going through your head when you're playing live music?
So now or throughout the years?
Like just in general, like if you like when you were playing on a big stage, what was going through your head in those moments?
Well, it's kind of, have you ever like stared at the ocean but not looked at anything?
Yes.
It's exactly that, because what you want to do is listen to your bandmates. So you want to lock in with the drummer, you want to listen to the bass player, you want to hear the lead singer, because that's going to affect actually over time. You're going to get good enough to like fill in and match with that. And then you sound like, if you can get 4 or 5 people doing that at the same time, if they're all listening to each other at the same time, it fucking creates that cool running sled, and then you're just fucking off to it's like, it'll just take care of itself. Like at the end, you'll be like, oh, the show's done. and everyone will be like, "That was the best show ever." You know, like from my experience, that's how you get into that bonus.
Yeah.
What do they call it? Flow state.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it comes through rigorous practice. So like for me, I would practice like 12, 15 hours a day sometimes. Like
Wow.
I would do in the van before we play. I'm just anywhere. I'd go in the van or the trailer, just like play the whole set. I would usually do it after too.
Wow.
Yes. And so it created this weird, like fucking crazy brain.
Yeah.
Where I was getting on stage and I would suck.
Oh, really?
Because I would have so many, well, at the time we were playing in that Rockaroke band too. So it's
right.
I had to memorize like 1,000 songs basically.
Oh.
And so I would have the tunes. Like I know the third solo from Sweet Child of Mine. I could play it correctly, but I could never execute it correctly. Like when the lights were on and shit, and you have to like play it in front of people, I'd like eat a dick. And then
Was it nerves? Was it?
I think it's I just overdo stuff. Like I have a real problem with like I get focused on a couple things and I just do them until they're like almost broken. And it was the same thing. I love performing live. And so my friends and I had found this weird band that was like on the off days. So it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So you could go be in this band and make a living. And then you could go be in your art band on the weekends that plays cool shows, but it doesn't barely pays for gas,
Yeah.
So, and then once that gets going, I want to play, I want to perform. So you're just obsessed with it. But smoking weed, just a little bit of that, calming down. And then you go on stage after you've practiced, it just falls right into place. This is probably boring for everyone.
No, yeah, but no, I don't know. But here, fun fact: I've never like performed live high.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no,
dude. Those last Rockaroke's gigs I would do, I ate 500 milligrams of weed and mushrooms.
Oh my god!
I
couldn't
hated
imagine
it so much.
Here I am in my little I set up a whole den with pillows and an eye mask.
Yeah, no,
up on stage.
I'm like, let's see the devil.
Trying to play Sweet Child.
Yeah.
The trip that I had, I could never imagine being in public having. I was in a curled up fetal position, weeping like that.
Yeah, it was like my tolerance is so high too that it would like become a problem for the stagehands.
Oh no,
they'd want to get high, because you kind of, even if they're not your regular guys, you'll just bump into them throughout in the different bands. And then there was one that could, my buddy Oz. He's amazing front of house guy, and we would eat 500 milligrams of weed. Right when we got there.
I don't know how I'd function. I don't know.
I think we're gonna find out when we get to play shows together finally, because I'm gonna get you high as fuck.
Oh man, you're a bad influence on me.
I think it will pierce to the other side. I think you'll be like,
see, I can't. I get paranoid. I get
that's not bad.
Yeah, I get so introspective even when I get high. I start taking inventory of everything in my life. Am I being a good dad right now? And usually it's like these false narratives of like, no, you're a terrible human. So it's a weird one.
Well, we'll have to burn that out in the desert. We'll do like a peyote or a ayahuasca.
My little shaman over here.
Yeah, and then we can get into jam band country. We can start a jam band.
Gosh, you got to go watch those John Mayer Dead videos. They're incredible.
Yeah, I love.
He's so good. So I love the Dead, but I'm actually like really into this. Found myself like listening to it and I was in the shower dancing a little bit. I don't dance. I'm not a dancing guy.
That's how good they are.
Yeah, that's how good they are.
It's crazy. Like musicians are such a weird breed too, because one, we're always, well, you're a lead singer, so I shouldn't. You get limelight. You get attentions.
No.
But bad guys are so weird because they're so nerdy. there's we can get so nerdy,
Dude.
but like when someone can actually do it, like there's Lar from he used to play in Sturgill's band. Like when I see him play guitar, I like legitimately kind of want to quit everything sometimes. Like he's so good to me, I'll like go outside and smoke a cigarette. Like I'll be like genuinely confused, like I need to take a long walk. Like, how can anyone be that good at a thing?
Seriously.
It's so inspiring. And
when you have like a like not even a band nerd, but just a really talented musician in a band, it really does make a difference. Like, it's interesting. I've been listening to a lot of ska lately. I've been going back to
what kind of ska? Like
third wave
Ivy ska?
No,
Or like
no.
no, you're talking about the super tones.
like Real Big Fish, and Less Than Jake. Like I love the Mad Caddies. Like sign me up. I'm so into it. Like I grew up on all the Fat Record stuff.
Yeah. Dude, Real Big Fish got some hits.
Oh, dude, they got some pops, dude. But I was listening to Less Than Jake, and I was listening to the chord changes and the musicianship, and I was thinking like, man, they're like really talented, right? Like these guys. And then I started thinking about it. All the fucking horn players are like, they've got to be like helping with all these arrangements.
No, that's a B flat, like, Richard.
E change. Like they're all these crazy key changes and like it's all the horn players, man. So like, you don't like that stuff?
No. Well, I'm as you can tell, I'm just so weird. Like I can tiz them out, and like, so for music lately, it's weird. What happens to me is I'll just hear a song and it will, like right now it's Slipknot. I've been listening to Slipknot for like 4 months now. Like I've listened to Duality sometimes like 50 times a day.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Right. And it's just, it depends on where I get to. So like, I mean, fuck, even like 9 months ago, it was Sublime.
Yep.
I was like listening to Sublime a bunch again, It's like, I guess there was enough time between my youth and then. They're so good. And it's so weird what makes music good, right? Because the music, like theory, like it kind of makes you shitty at music, in my opinion. Yeah, you should not know. If you want to write good songs, why do you need to know how many flats are in a key?
Well, I've had this conversation with my wife, who's like a brilliant musician, but from the other side, like she's the band nerd, like she gets the theory, and she's got a lot of opinion on that, in the sense that like it does make you a better songwriter. But the other night she let me off the hook. She was like, "I think you're okay," because
That's right, because you guys are married. She's like, I think you're okay.
No, she is my number one fan. It's actually incredible. Like I feel, yeah.
But see, okay, from the nerd argument, like take any song off Nevermind and try to tell me what key it's in. But like, is like Lithium not the coolest fucking thing you've ever heard?
Oh, dude, Lithium. It's really hard to sing that song and play that song at the same time.
Dude, it's the simplest shit can be the coolest.
Yeah.
There's what's that? You have that Everyday People by Sly and the Family Stone.
Yeah.
You know that song? That's one note, the entire song.
Oh, no way.
It's F sharp for the entire. Dun, 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 dun. That's all it does. And that's fucking filthy. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I think for me at least, when I started doing theory and understand and everything, it made me like, it's almost like it's like you're fucking, but you're telling her everything. All right, now I'm going to move. It's like, it's like, it's not sexy at all. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? You can't flow in the moment. You can't like, it makes it rigid. Right? Right? And now lean over. I'm going to smack your ass.
Oh,
Man, whoever like
no.
thought they were going to hear a Bible podcast
Yeah,
on
it's
this
it's.
one.
I mean, honestly, this is a trip through my brain. I mean, I haven't really thought much about what we're talking about. We've just kind of gone there.
This is why we're going to do it more. So it's going to happen more.
Yeah,
I haven't even looked at the time, actually. That's been an hour and 47 minutes.
that's
An hour
incredible.
and 40 minutes.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 5.
I like talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, dude, this is the shit. See, this is the way it should be. We just show up and just shit happens. We talked about Carl Lentz.
We talked about. Let's try and figure out all the things we talked about because there's so many things.
Aliens right off the bat, I feel like, right?
Multiple times aliens,
Multiple times.
hallucinogens,
Carl Lentz,
Carl Lentz,
mega churches,
mega churches,
what Jesus would do, mud baths, penis size. What would Jesus do if he came to a mega church?
Yeah, that was
That's
a good
big
little...
deal. That's good. We talked about my first kiss.
Your first kiss?
Yeah, we talked about music nerd shit. We talked about ska.
We talked.
In my opinion, is hard to do in any context.
That's 10. We're at 10.
That's good.
This is a perfect name for the podcast, which you could just say, like, we cover 12 different topics. There's a lot more. We talked about, I like smooching.
Yeah, smooching's bad. You got to
Smooch.
smooch during youth group. That still breaks my brain. Sometimes you'll say stuff about your church experience, and I like it. Like stops me. Like I get ED. Like, you know, right? Like in the moment, like, I'm like, that's great. I just can't even imagine. Like my youth group sucked, as I guess is what I'm saying. Like we must have been the most prude, like I said this before on a podcast, but there's this like outdoor water park up in Washington.
Yeah.
And they always have a Christian concert there every year. Like I saw Jars of Clay there.
Nice.
I saw Grandma Train there.
Dude,
I know those buddies, but a girl in our youth group wore a bikini top and like some shorts, and there was like meetings of like the deacons whether they should get kicked out of the church.
Kicked out?
yeah, because a 14-year-old.
I don't understand that principle, like that thought at all. Like it's the equivalent of suspending a kid from school for doing something bad. Like you should make them do extra school. That's the real punishment.
Yeah.
I don't
why
get it.
is it? Why? And especially if your platform is love and acceptance, you know, like if the guy you're worshiping is like, you know, send me the children, send me the poor and the widowed.
You want to hear one that always got me? I've never gotten an answer on this. So a lot of Catholics believe that to go to heaven, you have to baptize your child, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Catholic Church took a stance and would not baptize children of people who were not married for a long time. And they would also not baptize people, they still won't, with same-sex who have a baby. And so it's always baffling to me if you think about that, like lining up with the teachings of Jesus, you're condemning these children essentially to hell.
Totally.
Like if they die, they're gone. They're
what a rusty trombone. What a fucking reach around that they've had to do for thousands of years now to be like, no, that's holy. God, that you know, this God that we're speaking of is everything good and right in the universe.
Weird. Something's not right.
It's so sad. And you think aliens would cure it? And I just
I think what will start curing it, we have to talk to an alien. Not us, but like we gotta have Zibzorb come down here.
Yeah, like Jon
And
Stewart.
yeah,
Like, you know,
that's incredible.
yeah. Who's our nicest, most objective?
Right. Yeah.
Like,
Who's
Theo Von. I think Theo Von is actually
I don't think Theo's a good idea, but I think your first pick, Jon Stewart, is absolutely brilliant. Like there's no better pick. It's so hard to trust anything. I trust Dan McClellan.
I trust Dan.
I trust Dan.
We're gonna put thanks, Dan. We love you.
Dan, if
Data
you see
over
this,
dogma all day, bitch. I'm gonna get a tattoo on my face.
you're gonna be like the ex-Christian Post Malone.
Post my Christ. When we were starting this podcast, me and my buddy Squires we just have like conversations and texts about what I should do, like promo videos. And he was gonna be a rapper called what was it? God damn it. Christ and Pasta. It's spelled pasta. And he was just going to wear a diaper and have a microphone that was like nails in the form of a cross. And we were going to write Christian raps.
Dude. It's so funny on the internet now because you don't even need to find parody artists parodying these things because you could find the real deal. It's just that bad.
See, there lies why we kind of stopped. I'm just trying to focus on the conversations because yes, you're like, dude, the fucking TikTok. If you fall on the wrong side of TikTok, like religiously speaking,
Oh yeah.
dude, you'll see the craziest shit. It's gonna make you think that white nationalists are gonna start marching.
Yeah.
You know.
You want to hear a crazy story?
Yeah.
We had a video on our TikTok that got 25 million views.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of views. And I'm not saying this in a braggadocious way. It was a fucking nightmare. Like it's all consuming. It truly is. And so it was weird because the video that I did was a satirical bit on Target selling, like everybody was up in arms because they're saying they're selling tuck swimwear for children, right? And it's like, it's not true. It's just giving people a reason to bitch. And so I made this video poking fun at that idea in a Walmart, and I pointed to this Rugrats shirt that had all the Rugrat females in a car, and I said, "Women drivers, not okay. Like, let's boycott Walmart." 'Cause,
Yeah, poking fun at their logic.
right, poking fun at the logic.
Yeah.
So the weirdest thing happened. This video skyrockets. I mean, millions and millions of views, and there are 4 categories that people fall into. One, we are like it's bros, like chauvinistic men going, "Fuck yeah, dude, take all the women off the road." And
Oh no.
2, it is people who get it and are like, you are a pervert because you are like supporting Target swimwear. The other quarter of these people are ripping on my appearance, just dragging my fucking appearance.
Really?
Yeah, just dragging because I had worked like a 12-hour day that day, and I had just quickly made this video in Walmart, not expecting 25 million people to see it. And then the last quarter were people who got it and were like supportive of it. But it was like the worst was the people who were like, "I agree with this," and I'm like, "That's not what I'm saying."
Yes.
And,
Yes. Yeah. Oh my God. And that's how dumb we are.
we're so dumb.
We're so dumb.
God.
We're so dumb.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And we're so dumb that when you hear someone that can speak in a full sentence, everyone just thinks they're the smart. It's like Ben Shapiro.
Dude.
Like, all you have to do is be able to speak fast in a full sentence.
You want to know something terrible about me and Ben Shapiro?
Yeah.
If you like listen back to this podcast at like twice the speed, I sound exactly like Ben Shapiro.
Do you really?
Yeah. At times I do.
I see. I know nothing. I've heard him speak in clips, and he sounds really intelligent. But I know nothing about him. I know zero.
He's a dipshit.
Is he?
Like he can talk really fast. Yeah, he's a dipshit. He's like
You see,
this
I
like
sound smart.
he's this guy who goes out and basically tours the college circuit and puts these like liberal college kids on blast, you know,
He's
and
like he's super conservative, right?
super
Or,
conservative. Yeah, like anti woke, and like, you know, has a big deal problem with the Barbie movie right now. You know, like
wow, man, we tried to see it 3 times, but it was sold out.
yeah, I want to go see it.
Yeah, we tried.
According to the internet, we are betas because we want to see the Barbie movie. So I'm
I'll Indian leg wrestle anyone that fucking wants to anywhere, brother.
Anyways, yeah, he's just, I don't know much about him. Honestly, I just love to hate him because you know, you see his shit come up. I'm addicted to social media, so it's, you know,
TikTok rules.
yeah,
Yeah, it's funny that whole like, because I stay on the periphery of it, right? I'm
yeah,
just living my life. Like I haven't posted in 6 months anywhere, and it's just because I've been doing a bunch of shit, having fun. Like, but like, what's that guy Andrew Tate? You see, like.
oh yeah,
The rise of this weird fucking the dick hole, you know? Like
yeah, the acceptable asshole.
well, I don't like in just to because I'm trying not to be a hypocrite, but I've always said like really great artists. Like if Leonardo da Vinci was an asshole, like if we got in a time machine and met him and he was like short about getting a cappuccino or something. I don't know. I kind of like maybe I'm wrong for this, but I'm kind of like, well, it makes sense. He's busy in his mind. The guy's working on shit, like, you know. And so I don't mind assholes in a way, but it's like if you're a dude complaining about the fact that dudes have it hard right now, you're a bitch.
Yeah,
You're a bitch. What's happened is society flipped. It used to be really easy for dudes. We didn't have to do anything.
yeah,
We just go drinking with our buddies and get a job. And now you actually have to compete. And now you're complaining because shit isn't just handed to you on a fucking silver platter. And you're like, mwah. And that's like the least manly thing in the world. I thought alphas could provide for the whole village. I thought,
right.
you know, I take pride over fucking trying to not fucking, you know, flinch. You know, I don't know. I thought we were supposed to be tough out here. You guys talking to fucking. If he's talking about the Barbie movie,
Right, totally.
like, what the fuck?
Have you heard the song by Bo Burnham? It's like White Guy 1985. Like
No.
it's talking about like basically he like if I could be anybody, I'd be my dad in 1985 because he's
Get
you know
away with
what,
everything.
think about it, they just get away with everything. Like it's awful. It's fucking terrible. Like down with the patriarchy, in my opinion. Let's go.
I mean, we say it a lot on. I'm like such a dude. I'm like, you know, I like to punch things.
Yeah.
I drive fast. I go hunting, and I've always identified this. I've used to jump off a cliff into dirt piles for fun. You know, like just
Yeah.
you know, like. But if you don't think girls are pretty smart, you know what I'm saying? Even if when you're 7 on the playground and you see that girl do that thing and you're like,
Yeah.
oh man, she was thinking 2 steps ahead.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't we want these people in positions of authority and power? And like, why would fucking?
Yeah. I think we should be able to look past that and focus on ability alone, and the world would be
I think it's happening. See, I think it's fucking happening.
Yeah,
I think
do.
it's just birth
It
pains.
feels
You know,
like it's stepping back and yeah, I don't know.
yeah. We'll see with this election, but like, you know, I mean, who doesn't want? I don't know. I think it's happening.
Yeah.
Good shit is happening. I think there's more possibly good happening than bad. It's kind of hard to tell right now, but I do always get like super optimistic. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's just good conversations like this where I'm like, you know, I think there's more good people out there than bad. I do.
I hope so. Because I know a lot of good people,
Right.
but I don't know. You just see a lot of bad things happening to people, and it's hard.
Life's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, it is scary. It is scary. You really have to be diligent about creating happiness for yourself.
Yeah. Well, that's a really good. Yeah. It usually involves a unfortunate massive dose of truth, or maybe what we should say, objectivity.
Yes.
That's like really fucking hard to find, though.
Yeah. But when you break through that ceiling, and you kind of see through the other side of that, it really does get better. I mean, I guess in my perspective, but I also worked hard for it. I
You're
did the
talking about
right thing.
post Christianity.
Yeah, post Christianity, like my marriage had ended. I had a whole kind of new world in front of me, and I seized the opportunity to make it a good one for me. I think I could have
Yeah.
wallowed in a lot of shit, and but I just kind of kept moving forward. I didn't really spend a lot of time looking back, and it's afforded me a life of happiness. I feel like, and I'm earning it. I'm having to fight for it.
Yep. Yep.
So,
But at the same time, it's like, man, I wonder if we get back far enough on this journey path, whatever we're on, that we can like actually believe in a being again. Like I'm definitely in that agnostic camp, more
yeah.
so than ever before. But I I I I wonder. This leads me to a question that I'm trying to formulate for you.
Bring it.
Do you think there's any place for the Bible then in the future? Do you think is it like, maybe let me word it this way. Is there a teaching that you've kept even now?
Um, I mean, it's more, I wouldn't say there's the principles of the Bible, right? There are some
Hmm.
things that like love your neighbor as yourself. But again, I
Hell
don't know
yeah,
if I
man.
totally adhere to that in the sense of if my neighbor's going to be a dick to me, like I'm going to be a dick back. So maybe I don't follow that as much as I used to,
Hmm.
but unfortunately, my prediction is in the future here. And what do I know? I'm a fucking dude. Um, but I think the Bible is going to be used as an example of like how not to fall down these traps, like on a human level, like on a big we've learned our lesson level.
Yeah.
I think it'll continue to stick around, but not in the way that we think. I think, and I'm talking like hundreds of years in the future, it
Hmm.
should be pretty much debunked by a lot of different things by then, looking at how technology is advancing now and how everything's advancing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so not even like, because we keep discovering new scrolls and codexes and old
Yeah,
shit of the Bible
exactly.
too. Like,
But we're also like on the precipice of like really finding out what's going on out in space, essentially, or another dimension, however you want to look at it, right? So I think that the Bible, if we make it that far, will be looked back at as like, hey, here's a book that caused a lot of damage, and like here's some of the good stuff from it, but like I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be like Michael Jackson, huh? Like, man, we love his hits, but we can't really dance to him anymore because all those kids that got hurt. We love his hits, but like I always want to put on Ignition. I always want to bump some R. Kelly. And
Dude.
now it's just like, no, it's with a heavy heart, So
Oh, I can't. Every time I listen to MJ now, I think I cannot move. I can't do it. It's a struggle. It's awful because you start kind of bobbing your head and you're like, this guy touched fucking kids. Fuck.
it's so bad. It's so bad.
So now I'm forced to listen to fucking Alien Ant Farm's version of Smooth Criminal.
Is there any, there's nothing like when you say Alien Ant Farm, all I think of is Jankos. Like,
Totally.
like that's the only
Played a show with
thing.
those dudes.
Oh, did you? Were they cool? I bet they were cool as shit.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. I just remember watching them on stage and going like, "What is this kind of music? It's so weird. A lot of bass."
Yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, zebra head time. That was
Dude,
what was happening. Everyone's just chasing that carrot.
truly. My guy, I'm gonna go.
Yeah. I think that last MJ thing was pretty much it right there.
Yeah.
Okay, I love you.
Love
Talk to
you.
you soon.
It was fun. I love you.
Yeah, I love you. I love you. I'll talk to you soon. All right.